This is a moment for all of us to come together. This is the moment that Joe Biden was made for. Joe has run twice before, but this is the moment that he was built for. The last 4 days have been long, bringing our country together in this moment of deep division, getting us out of this pandemic, rebuilding our economy so it's more just and sustainable, and restoring our place in the world. That's a fairly ambitious agenda. That's what Joe's been running on since he announced in April of last year. And I think he is exactly the right leader to deliver on that ambitious agenda for our nation this coming year.
And have you been able to speak with him today? Do you know if he's going to reach out to President Trump, or is he waiting first to hear from him? What's your sense of that?
Don't know whether he will reach out first, but as you heard in his speech tonight and as you've heard from him all along the campaign trail, Joe is someone who believes deeply in healing the divisions in this country, in bringing us together. So I expect that he'll be reaching out in a variety of ways to Republican leaders, to Americans of all backgrounds and political persuasion.
You have a lot of relationships with Republicans that you've tended for in a variety of different ways. Have you heard from any Republicans? There's been...
This has been one of the most divisive elections of my lifetime in recent years. Some by text, most by phone in recent days. Initially a number of us were calling each other to offer congratulations on being reelected or condolences on being unsuccessful. And in talking to Democratic and Republican senators alike, there's a passion for moving forward, for getting things done in Congress, for responding to the real needs of our constituents. This has been one of the most divisive elections of my lifetime, and recent years in the Senate has been profoundly unsatisfying to senators of both parties, because we know we haven't addressed the needs of middle America. So I'm optimistic that the senators who've served with Joe for many years, who've known him as a senator and vice president, know his character, know his heart, and are going to be willing to risk working across the aisle.
Senator, do you think they will risk reaching across the aisle now to hasten this moment of unity that you're talking about by saying some congratulating the president-elect?
I hope so. Look, I've been disappointed many times in the ways in which my colleagues have not stood up to President Trump, those who privately have expressed grave concern about things he's done that have been unconventional or have violated some of the important traditions of our nation. This is a moment for all of us to come together to support the president-elect and the vice president-elect, but more importantly, to support the American people. You heard in Joe's remarks tonight that his hope, his ambition, is to lead as an American president, not a Democratic president, and we have an opportunity to do that now. And I'm hopeful my colleagues of all backgrounds, Democrat, Independent, and Republican in the Senate, will come forward and do that.
For such a long time. Can you share with us what this moment means to him? It's true when they say third time's the charm, it seems, for your friend tonight.
But Gail, as you know, this is the moment that Joe Biden was made for. This was the moment that all the ups and downs of his life, the tragedies and losses, the successes and the soaring accomplishments, all of it came together in this election, in this moment. We're in the middle of a terrible pandemic where more than 100,000 Americans have been infected each of the last 3 days. We need a president who's compassionate, who can reach across the aisle, who can listen to science, and who can get us out of our current challenges. Joe has run twice before, but this is the moment that he was built for because of his optimism, his deep belief in the American people. You heard his message tonight of confidence that we can do things together to hit in this challenging time in our nation. And Kamala Harris is just the right person to lead alongside him as vice president.
But what does it say to you when you look at the people celebrating in the streets the way they are in this country tonight?
Well, I think the joy that I heard here in Delaware wasn't just for Republicans or Democrats. It was really about our democracy working and moving forward. The last 4 days have been long, and people have been patient. And 150 million Americans, roughly, came out to vote in this election. Think about it. The ways in which we have shown as a nation our confidence in our system, in our democracy, and the ways in which the elation, the jubilation, the dancing in the streets that you're talking about, Gail, that's an expression of joyfulness and of hopefulness about what is possible with the leadership of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and with the willingness to work together. I've worked hard in the last decade to bridge the differences in the Senate, and I think Joe is perfectly positioned to be the person to help bridge some of the real challenges in the world. The best way that we can be a successful nation on the world stage is to heal our democracy here at home. And whether Joe asks me to be a part of that work in the Senate or in another way as a part of his administration, I'd be honored to do so. He has a number of very talented people right around him who've served with him many years, from whom he could choose. But if I got that opportunity, it'd be the honor of a lifetime.
Thank you so much for joining us as we wrap up there from Wilmington, Delaware, just as we heard the president-elect saying that he pledges to be an American who will seek not to divide, but to unify.